back.
And we're back.
Welcome back to Hembree's 100% Music Podcast, where we talk all things music and just about everything else but music. This week, we've got something new for you all, for the fans at home. A 100% Music Special Report. This is exclusive content that you're only going to find from the boys in Hembree. And the reason we're pivoting this week is because we've had a moment here with Taylor Swift and the Kansas City Chiefs and the entire Swiftie community. They've really embraced us and brought us into the fold. And so we thought we could return the favor here to the Swifties and give them a little piece of Swiftie information that they may not know about. You know, this is groundbreaking stuff here.
This is exclusive news.
And so we're going to be interviewing a great friend of ours. His name is Mark Wetzel, a.k.a. Mawk Mawk. And you guys want to tell us how we know Mawk and where we're heading with this?
Our good friend, his name's Mark, but we call him Mawk. He lives in Chicago, so when me and Alex were living in Chicago, we became very good friends, and I actually performed in a band with Mark for several years.
Fantastic
Blaine Fonda. We'll drop the link to some Blaine Fonda music you can find. But Mark, who's been a long-time friend of ours and one of our brothers, he has also been a long-time Taylor Swift fan, and he was fortunate enough on this past tour, Eras tour, when she was in Kansas City, to find himself in a very special and interesting predicament.
If you're a Swiftie, you've probably seen this photo and wondered who this mysterious gentleman is in this photo.
The mystery man.
The mystery man.
Again, this is content you're only getting from Hembree, folks. So we're going to bring it to you now. We're not going to waste much more time here. We're jumping right into a 100% Music Special Report.
We are so excited to bring on an exclusive guest with an amazing story, one of our dearest friends, Mawk Mawk Wetzel. He's a creative director based in Chicago. More importantly, he's an amazing artist, an amazing musician, and a best friend.
An amazing friend.
An amazing friend. Mark, welcome to the 100% Music Podcast. We exclusively talk about music and nothing else.
Wow.
And that's why we're launching in with some celebrity talk.
It's a musical celebrity, so that works. Thanks for the intro. I can verify you are some of my best friends I've ever had. I don't know about the rest of it, but
Tell us about that shirt you got on there, Mark. What is that?
this is actually a death metal version of a folklore shirt. When I found out I was going to be going to my second Taylor Swift show of the year, I wanted to impress my friends, and I ordered this off of Etsy, and it's gotten a little bit of buzz. This shirt really got a lot of looks.
Well, Mark, we wanted to have you on here because we're going to tell it from our perspective first. You know, a day in the life. Hembree, wake up in the morning, we hit the road, we're on tour, we're riding around in the van. Normally someone's telling us what's happening in the world, Instagram, whatever. I hear Austin say something along the lines like, holy shit.
Yeah,
So,
I think it was oh shit.
Yeah, oh shit.
Yeah.
And we're like, what's going on? And he's like, well, there's this photo everywhere of Taylor Lautner and Taylor Swift and Mawk Mawk. And all of a
one
sudden,
other guy.
You're everywhere. I don't know if I told you, I was on a flight just mere days after. You're everywhere. There are moms scrolling on their phones past a photo of you, and I'm on a Southwest flight, and there's Mark. How does this happen?
How did you end up in a photo with Taylor Lautner and Taylor Swift? And can you tell us about your experience?
Well, you must have seen it early on before they started cropping me out.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of that same photo and you're not in it.
And that's why we're bringing you back.
I saw the cropped out version first.
That's
and then I saw
hilarious.
the one later. I'm like, wait, is this real?
You have been a longtime Taylor Swift fan and a diehard for as long as I can remember. So I can only imagine this is a special experience for you. Mark, we're still going. Podcast is still on.
He's leaving.
No, I forgot. I was like, what
Look
are
at this. Look at this.
Yeah.
The phenomenon here with everything happening over this last year started in Kansas City. And this show, obviously, Kansas City is very dear to our hearts. We were on tour. We couldn't be there. You're not only hanging out with Taylor Swift, you're in the Kansas City Chiefs locker room. I mean, the whole thing, man, is blowing my mind. It's
Yeah, how did you end up there?
Yes.
This whole thing has been an exercise in really like putting your intentions out there. So I had been a huge fan of Taylor Swift for a while. I actually wasn't even going to try to go to any of the shows because they're so expensive. And I actually went to my buddy's birthday party, and his brother's obsessed, and he said he had been to a few shows, and I was like, I should at least try to go to a show. So I put it out there on the internet. I go on Instagram, and I just say, like, does anybody know how to get a reasonably priced ticket? Anybody have any tips? And your very good friend and friend of mine, Magic Matt, hits me up and says, hey, I think I can actually help you out. Like, I might know something. And so I got to go to a show in Chicago, and then I posted some pictures of that. I think because of that, like, my friends were like, oh yeah, Mark's a big fan of Taylor Swift, like, kind of, I guess ironically, like, when you look like me, maybe it's not the first
You
band
don't
that you
look
would
like
come
the
to your mind.
traditional
Look
what
at
someone
all of
might
us,
expect
though.
the Taylor Swift fan to look like.
Yeah, I mean, but like you said, I just, like, whether people hate on her or not, you know, I do get a little upset when people won't even give at least, like, the woman works hard. She's very talented. Her work ethic's great. They try to take that away from her for whatever reason. It's just because people will always try to, you know, punch out whoever's at the top. So all that said, I got a second chance at something really special when my friends Joey and Steve reached out to me and just said, you know, hey, we have extra tickets in Kansas City. Would you want to come? So like I said, I immediately got on Etsy, ordered this shirt, and got a plane ticket.
First order of business. Sick ass metal version of a Taylor
You
Swift
got
album.
it. You know, I didn't want to show up. I didn't want to be that guy showing up with an Arrows t-shirt. So I went with a more custom job here off of Etsy. We'll drop you a link on.
And Folklore is notoriously her heaviest album.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. It's like very Wiccan and like witchy. So I get the word, you know, hey, I've got an extra ticket if you want to come. Of course, I'm going to be there. I'm in Chicago, by the way. So I take a quick flight to Kansas City to meet two friends of mine, Joey and Steve. Joey's sister and one of their best friends comes as well. We're getting ready to go to this show. And I'm like, I put this shirt on and I go to my buddy Steve. I'm like, you know, what if Taylor looks at me? Like, are we going to be close enough where I'm going to get to see her? Like, is this shirt, like, you know, I'm just getting a little nervous. I'm like, I want to be at my best, you know, in case she makes eye contact with me or whatever. And he's like, oh, dude, I wouldn't get your hopes up. Like, I don't even know how good the seats are, all this stuff.
So he's downplaying the whole thing.
I just thought we had extra tickets. Like, that was going to be cool. So, but then this like little bus comes and picks us up, and there's just 5 of us. So I'm kind of like, this is interesting. And I'm with a friend of mine who's, you know, Joey and Steve. They're in the Hollywood elite, so to speak.
Can you give us their last names real fast?
But we won't reveal it till much later.
Yeah, I'll ask.
So people
I'll
are
ask
like,
them
I
if
guess I got to meet Joey and Steve.
Yeah, they're the best. They're wonderful people. And we get up to the traffic, and I'm like, oh, this is a nightmare, you know, leading up to the stadium. There's a side way that we go, and we circumvent all the traffic. Like
everything is going your way.
yeah, and it's like we get this special side route to go through. And then we get to the stadium, and immediately they load us into a golf cart and drive us into the stadium. And I keep being like, this is
You're
insane.
like, we're
It
not in
keeps
the
getting crazier.
nosebleeds tonight. We're not sitting up in the nosebleeds.
We get out of the golf cart. We're walking down like the main corridor of the Arrowhead Stadium. I don't know what it's called, but
You were correct. Arrowhead Stadium.
no,
That's a
I
point
mean
for
like
you.
the main vein of the stadium.
I was like, yes, it is Arrowhead Stadium. You were correct.
Yeah,
sir.
no, I know
Arrowhead
that.
Stadium corridor.
The corridor.
But there's this older gentleman who I just assume is like, you know, the staff there. And I shake his hands, and he puts just a handful of these Eras Tour, it's a Midnight's guitar picks in my hand. And we walk into this tiny little locker room, and my buddy just kind of elbows me and he goes, that's Taylor's dad. And I was like, wait, okay, that's pretty cool. Weird, but cool. You know, and I'm in this locker room about the size of this room actually. And it's like our holding area. And then, Taylor Lautner walks in.
Did you recognize him right away, Taylor Lautner?
Absolutely. He hasn't aged today because he's a werewolf.
Got werewolf blood.
Beautiful man.
Yeah. He's a good looking guy. Kept in shape, and he's doing well. But he's just kind of hanging out with us all of a sudden, and then this handler comes in. And he's like, you know, it's just going to be a couple more minutes, then you can go see Taylor. They got a photo of me at that exact moment, where I start like tossing my hair and giggling like I'm a school
Like
kid.
you just go full. You revert to like a child.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do. It was a little overwhelming. And so, true to their word, a couple more minutes go by, and they walk us through this long corridor again into the Chiefs locker room. And that's where Taylor's green room is. It's the entire Chiefs locker room. Couches, tea station, makeup station, all that stuff. And Taylor walks in, you know, she greets everybody and then she gives me a big hug. And I just looked at her and I was just like, you know, I just love you. And without a beat, she just goes, you know, I love you too. I think I can already tell. And
Too good.
This is
Wow.
I mean, this is a
just
100% music exclusive here, folks.
Exclusive.
No one else is getting this content. No one else is getting this information.
But my favorite is that she was just, I got to see her before the show. I liken it to, she's like Superman or Wonder Woman, where she came out, she just had no hair done, no makeup done, t-shirt, jeans, shoes off, walked up to me, and she was just like a regular person. And she just disappears for a little bit. She's like, I gotta go get ready. And it's like a minute. She's Clark Kent going into a phone booth. She comes back out a minute later, full makeup, hair done, sequin unitard, boots that lift her 40 feet off the ground. Like she is all of a sudden Wonder Woman. It was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. And then they pull out like a laptop and start talking to Joey and saying like, so here's the final cut. And I'm just kind of watching like, what is going on? And Joey and Taylor Lautner come over and look at the laptop, and I see that Joey is in a music video. That's when it all starts to come together, that my friend Joey, when she was younger, was in a music video for Taylor's song Mean. For the re-release, which I didn't know, you know, Taylor's version was coming out that night for that record, Fearless.
I've always had like such a respect for her as a songwriter, and it was interesting to watch her go from country to then like you hear that pop influence start to creep in on Red, and you're like, wow, this is insane. She's getting country fans and she's getting pop fans, and like merging the worlds together, and then obviously goes full on pop icon on another record. But anyway, I'll let you continue.
Well, we all do that in a way, right? Like we code switch to as empaths, we like to appeal to other people and pull them in, and that's what she does with her music, and that's what she does with either putting a little twang on it or not. And so I think like, yeah, she was a great country artist to start off with, and then she just, I think, smartly went a little bit more on the pop general aspect of it, and appeals to everybody now, you know. And it was a move. So yeah, Fearless was coming out that night. I didn't know it, but Fearless was going to be coming out that night that I was in Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City.
In the locker room with Taylor Swift and Taylor Lautner and Joey Kim.
Yeah.
And Mawk
So
Mawk.
the Taylor Lautner connection is that she and Taylor Swift were very close at the time that Fearless was coming out. On the night where Taylor's version of Fearless was coming out, they were going to debut this new video that they shot, which is awesome. It's like an action movie, and Taylor Lautner does all his stunts, and it's incredible if you haven't seen it.
So rad.
Like his bow spinning style and flips and all sorts of stuff. It's crazy.
And you really hit it off with Taylor Lautner, if I remember correctly. You guys were like buds that night.
I thought, but he hasn't hit me up since. Which is
Hey, Taylor, if you're watching.
He's a fan of the band, so we'll let him know.
Yeah, he loves our stuff.
You had one night of magic.
I think, yeah, he and I ended up hanging out a lot. His wife was there, who's also named Taylor. They have a podcast as well, him and his wife. We went to I kept getting these, like, people would send me and be like, dude, you're like in the background of all these Taylor Lautner videos that are going viral on TikTok and stuff. Or there was one moment where Taylor and I both had to go to the bathroom at the same time. So like we had our guards take us back through everything to the Chiefs locker room to take a pee. And he's like live streaming it from his Insta. And he's like filming me urinating.
Live stream.
Live stream.
Yeah.
Did you ever think you peeing in the Arrowhead Stadium locker room would go viral?
He knew it was
You
coming.
knew it was coming. You knew your day was coming.
And then Taylor Lautner, you know, he's getting a little nervous. He's like, I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And then he goes out, and I'm sure you can find the footage of Taylor Lautner going out to be introduced. And like after the video comes on, they played the video in front of the whole stadium. Taylor Swift is like, I'm going to bring out some people. And Taylor Lautner goes out, and he just does like a back handspring flip thing on the runway. When he comes back, he was like, I did not plan on doing that. I was just like, the adrenaline.
75,000 people will
he
make you
blacked
start doing
Felt
some
appropriate.
backflips.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. It was like flawless. And he's like, I haven't done one of those in like 10 years. And it's just like, that could have gone really.
Yeah.
Could have died in front of 70,000 people. Just snapped your
If it
neck.
didn't go well, you would have definitely seen it. Like it would have been a viral, like the new meme.
So, Mark, what happened after the show then?
We got like a really cool view of, at the end of the show, there's obviously like confetti cannons. Everybody's losing their minds. You're going a little bit deaf because of all of the teenage girls screaming. And we're walking back and then we go and we get to like hang out in the green room, which is the Chiefs locker room. Taylor Swift would probably deny it, but I think she was making eyes at me. Like
I think
was
you were
on
maybe
this
sitting in front of
couch and she
Travis
was like-
Kelsey's locker.
That was the night though that Kelsey was good. He made her a
friendship
Taylor
bracelet.
Swift
Yeah, he
friendship
made- yeah,
bracelet
exactly.
with his number on it.
With the band, one of the perks or whatever of being in a band is you're paid in weird life experiences, And it's weird because when you find yourself in a situation like that, for a minute your brain is kind of freaking out. But was your brain freaking out the entire time, or did it kind of just become your reality and that was your life for the night?
To sound a bit pompous, like I was pretty cool that night. Like I was hanging with Taylor Lautner, kicking it, like playing it cool, not making him feel weird or star-fucked or anything, and making jokes around Taylor Swift and putting a little bit of charm on. The only real cringe part of the night was actually when I got that photo with her. Because I had an open bar all that night and we went out for drinks before and stuff. So I was pretty well tuned.
Tuned up.
I'm hanging out with Taylor on the couch and then Joey and the other Taylor are very good friends. So they're gals on this couch over here, like catching up and everything. And me and the other Taylor are like showing dog videos to each other of our dogs and stuff. And we're just kind of doing a little good male bonding. And then, it's coming to the end of the night. So I'm just like, dude, can I get a snap with you? Like, I hope it's not weird. Like, I'd love to remember this. Like, I'd get a picture. And just as my friend Steve is about to take the photo, Taylor Swift comes over. She's like, oh, this guy's a fan. I'm going to get in the photo with them. It'll be cute. And I start to do a bit where I'm like, I only want one Taylor in this photo, like throwing shade at her.
Because you're a little tuned up and you think that the joke is it's hitting. The
That's a
joke is
solid
pretty
I
joke.
think
good.
it's
That's a
pretty
good
good. And
That's
at
pretty
first,
good. That is
pretty good.
everybody was like, "Whoa, Mark, that's pretty bold." Okay, that's pretty funny. Okay,
You did say you were killing it that night.
I think it was funny the first time that I did it. So I'm like, no, get out of here.
You get out of here, Taylor Swift.
And then they're like, okay. And then she leans in and I'm like, no. And then everybody's like, come on, man. And then she
like,
leans
Mark,
back in and I'm
Mark.
like, no. So it was like 3 times and everybody's like,
They're like, you're going to need to leave, sir.
That's the rule of threes, man, in comedy.
yeah. And then finally, obviously we did get the photo that I got edited out of. Apparently a lot of people thought that I was like one of her producers or something. There were people speculating who I was for a long time.
Max Martin?
No,
I
it
think
was
maybe
somebody else.
Antonoff. Was it Jack Antonoff? Do I look
Jack
anything like him?
Antonoff?
I don't know if there's anybody you look less like than Jack Antonoff. So I think it was probably somebody else.
Which I do think it's funny online how quickly people just cropped him out as opposed to be like, oh, well, who is this person? Clearly there might be someone. Let's look it up. Instead they're like, let's crop him out.
We don't know who it is. Crop him
Like
out.
they just quickly just got rid of you.
And if you were someone famous, they'd be like, crop him back in, crop him back in.
Yeah.
I have
Put
a
it back, put it back.
recognizable arm though, and this made it. They couldn't.
Yeah.
They didn't clone my arm out from behind the Taylors, and I had my arm behind them. So that's going to be there.
With our episodes, we do a record of the week.
Record of the week.
Record of the week.
And we thought it would be awesome, if you were to tell us what your favorite Taylor Swift record for this week is.
I think it doesn't really change. My entry point to Taylor Swift was 1989, and that was kind of around the era where she really had gone full pop at that point, and it was just kind of like incredible production, undeniable hooks. Really had that. It was a new era, for lack of a better word. Lack of a better worm.
Lack of a better word.
Like a better worm.
But no, it's funny. 1989 is my favorite as well. That was when I heard that. That was when I kind of realized that she was more than just a pop star. When listening to the songs off of that and just the quality of each track, I'm like, this is such a special album. This is going to be around for the rest of my life. I feel like she went into that like echelon of that, like the Beatles, like Michael Jackson, Madonna, where I'm like, this is timeless. This is a perfect album, and I absolutely love it.
It's funny you say that because I was actually thinking, like, because it's not a 10-song record. Like, it is there are like 95 tracks. You'll have to fact check that.
Yeah.
But
Do you
but
have,
it's one of
do you
those things
have
where
a
it's
favorite
like,
track? Is that fair to ask you? Do you?
there are obvious like Shake It Off and stuff like that are radio hits, and like the Beatles, like Zeppelin or anything like that with famous records, those are the big hits and stuff. But I would say like the deeper cuts, like I Know Places, for example, is like, that song gets me every time. Like I have to fight back tears every time I listen to that song. It is incredible. And for, when I had the CD before the vinyl, it was like at the end of the CD, she'll actually play back like her tape recorder of like when she was coming up with the hooks for like
Such a true songwriter.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think she truly loves the process and is like a songwriting addict.
She is addicted. Absolutely. Yeah. It's like, why do you need to be making
No, she doesn't need to work a day in her life, but I mean,
never again.
we're all musicians. There is a feeling, like an irreplaceable feeling you get when you land on something good, whether that's a lyric or a melody or anything that kind of ignites you in a way that you can't get from anything else. So
We're all addicts.
That's right. For me, Style is my favorite song on that record, and weirdly influenced some Hembree stuff. It's just got such a nice groove, and that guitar line is so sick. The production is so great, and I think that's when. So that's Max Martin who is producing that one. But yeah, when you put whether it's Taylor and Jack Antonoff together or Taylor and Max Martin and Shellback together, that's a force of a songwriting team. So just as like such an avid music fan and stuff, for me, it's like that record was just it's the best songwriters in the world coming together to make the best pop songs in the world,
And what I love about it too is, as you mentioned, like the hit songs, like the mega hits that made all the money, those are like my least favorite songs on it. It's every other song on it. Every song on it is good. And in a lot of pop albums, you have your singles and the rest of it is garbage. This one is like the other songs, the filler is so good. And that's why I absolutely love that album.
As Sum 41 said, man, all killer, no filler. Mark, this was freaking awesome, dude. Yep. Thank you so much for coming on and kind of spilling the tea here. Ward Boys, you got any?
The tea on tea.
On tea. You got
I did just want to call out, I did bring one extra prop. Now you're talking about tea. This is a relic from the night as well, where I was a little tuned up, and I took this mug from the craft services table. This is a Taylor Swift exclusive mug that
Taylor
I'm
is
sure
probably
she's
looking for that mug, dude.
Yeah.
Right now, she's like, "Where's that pink mug that I really like?"
As Mawk Mawk's best friends in the whole world, do you have any closing remarks? Anything you want to say to this man? Oh, we got tats.
Look at that.
Oh my gosh.
That I actually, I keep thinking about how much that night affected me, but this was done in Kansas City at a tattoo parlor that I also don't remember the name of.
Now, Mark, that was an incredible story. We're just real happy for you. We're proud of you.
You got to live like you got to live a dream. Like
that is true.
There's like a billion people in the world that would give anything to have the experience. You had a truly priceless experience there.
And a billion people saw that photo of you, or the version of you cropped out of it. Taylor's version.
Taylor's version.
We got Mawk Mawk's version.
We're
over
dropping
here.
Taylor's version of the exclusive Hembree 100% music photo.
Yeah, you got to have her on next.
Yeah, we're working on our agents reaching out to her agent.
She
Yeah,
keeps postponing.
Yeah.
She's
these days.
got to get through the playoffs.
Yep.
She said maybe
Actually-
after Super Bowl.
Actually, Mark, if
That's
you
true.
turn around, I think someone's at your door. It's Taylor Lautner.
We said
He's going to come karate kick you in the face.
Oh man. Well, with that said,
Thanks for
you got that to
popping
look
by,
forward to.
You're the best, dude. Thank you so much,
Thanks,
man.
Mark.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us.
100% music.